is titled Critical Success Factors for Delivering a Project. And it's a 15-minute speech. And I believe it's a speech where the objective of the speech is for the speaker to handle interruptions. But the speech will be done by Pieter Roos and evaluated by Pieter Roos. So to give us some more information on this 15-minute speech, please help me welcome Pieter's evaluator, Pieter Roos.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. So Pieter is busy with the path presentation mastery, and it is level 4. Level 4, and it's an elective also, I believe.
No, this is is it?
I think it's an elective. Anyway, so it is about managing a difficult audience, and as I'm going to give the timing now before I proceed with the rest, it's 15 minutes. Time is 10 to 15 minutes, but his speech must actually only be, he must get to prepare a 5 to 7 minute speech, but because of the interruptions, this could take him 15 minutes to do a 5 to 7 minute speech. So the purpose is for Pieter to practice the skills needed to address an audience challenges when he presents outside the Toastmasters Club. It is managing a difficult audience, and in the audience we know that it is a very large audience that we have here, and in them is planted a talker, an interrupter, a chatterer, an arguer, and a silent type. So in this large audience you can't guess who's going to play which role. So that's the purpose, and a bit of background about the speech. Mr. Toastmaster, you can go ahead.
Camille is not here, so could we ask Anshin to take the arguer? And actually, since there are more people, if the script only allows everybody to interrupt once. So once you ask to not be disruptive, you need to not disrupt anymore. But I think in the spirit of accommodating everybody, let's give people who have been assigned roles.
So everybody can have a go.
One chance. So you've only got one chance. If I ask you, please let go of it, then you need to.
For every 1 minute, the person speaks, you have to interrupt him. He has to be interrupted for 2 minutes to make a 5-minute speech, 15 minutes. So there's got to be more interruptions than speech.
Don't wait until right at the end for everybody to cram in and cause problems.
I'll just say, then, no Q&A.
Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, to welcome, please help me welcome Pieter Roos, speaking on the topic of the critical success factors for delivering a project. The critical success factors for delivering a project, Pieter Roos.
There are some truths, we might even call them ancient truths, because in the technology world 50 years is probably the equivalent of 50 lifetimes. Back in the 1970s, Mr. Brooks at IBM was in charge of developing the operating system for the mainframe. And through trial and error and lots of hard yards that he had to make through, he compiled a set of essays that are contained in a book called The Mythical Man Month. And what I learned from that little booklet of essays is that the struggles people have in delivering projects today are no different from the way things were in 1976 when you wrote the book. If you, just a second, if you think about the spectacular failures in government, in the private sector, in global politics, all over, how people battled to get things done, then you also need to ask yourself, what do I need to do to be successful? And there are 5 things I'm going to propose tonight that could actually
Gee,
make you succeed. Let me just introduce the 5 and then we can continue.
You mean this is the silver bullets?
Could you
There are
just
no
repeat
silver
the
bullets.
The
names?
5 silver bullets that can end all war
The
and end
mythical
all
man
conflict
month
and make all the
by
projects.
the mythical man month by Robert Brooks.
The mythical
The mythical man month.
man month.
So basically, he said that it's only a myth that the way we see time. But five things
but it's
which are
important what I want to say.
no. Let me finish. Let me finish my 5 points, and then we can get into some more
No,
detail.
but then I won't have time to speak.
Well,
How can you say that the problems are exactly the same? There are problems, I accept that.
Because
but
they've been researched.
people are not the same.
Because
Yeah,
they've been
they're the same.
researched and published. And if you want to succeed, you need to think about whether your project is aligned to where the business is going, whether the executives are behind you in what you are doing, whether you've got the capabilities in your firm to succeed, whether you've got the resourcing, and whether there's appropriate oversight and assurance.
What are the chances that
Where do I get that? From the Standish report, which has analysed more than 30,000 projects and is published every second year, where these themes are actually well researched and documented and reported every second year.
yeah, what's the chances of all that stuff aligning on a project and it gets through and it succeeds? Very, very slim.
The chances are very slim indeed. If you look at the Standish report, it actually says that most projects end in failure. Only 1 in 3 projects actually achieves what it sets out to do on time and within budget. And to give you a better chance for success, the first question you need to ask yourself is whether what you're doing is actually aligned to where the firm is meant to go. Is what we're doing counting? Is it effective? Does it contribute to our overall outcomes and success that we've set ourselves in our strategy? Because if you're doing stuff that's not adding to the effectiveness,
Dude, you do realize there are other people on that side of the audience as well.
there are. Absolutely there are. But since you feel I'm paying too much attention to you, then let me position the second point to you.
I'm more worried about you showing your butt to the ladies.
Apart from doing the right
You're not worried
things
about it.
for the right reasons, you also need the executive support in the firm, because without the leadership supporting, you might be doing the right thing, but you're not going to get the resourcing that you require. So if the guy at the top, or the lady at the top, is not aligned to where you're going, you might be aligned to the objectives of the firm, but you'll still get nowhere. Now, having the support, doing the right thing, and setting out to do the right thing in the right way, you still need capable people. If you've got inexperienced project managers, delivery staff, product managers, if the people in business don't have the capabilities to build what you've set out to do, you will still fail. So you need to look at how you match the people that are available to what you have to do.
The people that got to do the job is worried about either 404 that they're getting, and they've got no idea what the objectives of the business is. They're just trying
Well,
to
then it's a badly run
figure out
business.
what the technical,
Well, I'm
issues are.
afraid then you're in a poorly run business, because if the people in the firm don't know where the business is going, then the leadership has failed. And then every other project will fail as well. So, if you
That's
have...
the other thing.
Please stop disrupting.
That's reality. 404. Quite not found. 404 not found.
Okay? So let's assume you've got all of these things that are the makings of success, and you don't have the money, you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the premises to house the people, or the Zoom and the Teams and all the other stuff that costs you money. You still won't be able to deliver this project of yours, because everything costs money, everything demands infrastructure, and everything demands a place to house the final product in.
So just run me through again, what's the 5 things that you need?
The 5 things are alignment to the objectives, executive support, capability, resourcing, and oversight. And I've shared the first 3 with you. So having the right people and the right resourcing brings us to oversight, because we need ways in which we challenge people on their alignment, as I mentioned, challenge executives on their involvement in the project, determine whether we've got the resourcing to do what we need to do, determining whether Zane and Zuko and Battis and Steph are capable of delivering what they're supposed to do.
Well, that is your work, isn't it?
My work as,
To see that they do their work.
but who am I in all of this?
Tell us. You're telling us.
If you're assigning me responsibility, what role do you see me playing in this?
You, the man who wanted to do the work by telling them to do the work.
So am I the CEO, am I the project manager, what role do you assign me if I'm the one who's responsible for
You
that?
thought it out, so you both.
I thought what up?
He just did the research, man. He doesn't have any practical experience.
The rule says once, right? So you out. You can strike out. So what role would you assign me?
The project manager.
Okay, so assuming I'm the project manager, let's make this real. When I'm approached by the firm to deliver this particular project, I would say, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for doing this? Is this in line with the strategy? That's the first question I would ask.
Mm.
Then I would go to the powers that be and say to them, are you supportive of this? Is this in line with where you see the firm going? Thirdly, I would ask, do we have the people? Do we have the capabilities? Do we have the competency to do this? And do we have the means to bring people into the firm if we don't? I then would ask, do we have the money and the infrastructure and the premises and all the other resources that we need? And finally, I would say, how do we generate the oversight structures to see to it that this project is delivered in the way it should be delivered? Do we set up a steering committee? Do we have a special committee? Do we have some kind of strategy committee? I've been involved in firms where we actually had a board committee to which I had to report on the direction that this massive program was taken. So once you've touched on all 5 of those areas, you've got a fighting chance. And if you don't set them up, and if you don't have those things, you might become part of the 70% that the Standish reports are reporting to be failures. What's interesting is that every stage of a project during which you fail to fix a problem exacerbates the cost of that particular thing by 10 times. If you go through the first gate and you don't fix something, the next time you have to deal with it costs you 10 times as much. And after the next gate, it's another 10, so it's 100. And after the next gate, it's 1,000 times. That's been proven by research, by the Standish report, and it's reinforced by firms like EY and Deloitte, and PwC and McKinsey and all of these guys who've done a lot of work on why projects fail. These aren't the only reasons why they fail, but these 5 success factors actually give you a better chance of succeeding. Okay?
But then wouldn't the all of the different committees start affecting alignment? Under the guise of oversight, wouldn't they start different committees have different alignments?
Well, then you've got unnecessary red tape in the system, and then the project executive needs to deal with that with the support of the leadership. So then you go back to the leadership and you say, we've got too many committees, this oversight is actually getting in the way of delivery, it's not playing a constructive role, we need less of this, we need a more focused effort behind this. That's what you then need to do, and that is why you need leadership support.
If red tape's the problem, maybe we should just get green tape.
Green tape's great, because greens are less offensive and threatening colour than red. So
Graphic tape is much
change management, it's called change management, which is a key part of project management. And we say, how do I get everybody on board? How do I make people feel less threatened? So if I need to use green, I use green instead of red. And how do I make the success of the project everybody's success? Because if they all feel they're sharing in this, then perhaps I can carry them along and they would be willing to buy and support us. And then it wouldn't become a Nachkom scenario.
Yes,
It
exactly.
would actually become a success story. One of those journeys that Rizuko shared with us that's actually got some energy to it and some resilience to it, and that actually gets us to where we want to be. Now we get to the Q&A. Are there any questions?
Mr. Speaker, my first question actually is, you said there were 5 points.
Yes.
I only picked up 4 of them. You spoke of alignment, resources, capability and oversight.
And the leadership.
Is that the last one or
No,
the first one?
that was the second one. So the first one was alignment, the second one was the leadership support.
Okay, leadership support.
Yes.
Thank you.
Third was capabilities. Fourth was resourcing, and fifth was oversight. And that one we need to actually need to emphasize the importance of leadership support, because next to strategic alignment and to alignment to the objectives, that's the most important thing, because that's where you turn when things really go south. They're the guys who need to get people, to help you get people on board, to get the resourcing, to get the capabilities in. So they basically have your back. And if they don't, you're in trouble.
Yeah, could be.
No more questions? Well, you've been such a kind audience. I was expecting you to be a much more difficult group to sell this project to. Thank you for your unanimous support. I count on you carrying me and having my back throughout this project. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. So I take that hat on. So Pieter, your topic was around critical success factors for delivering a project, and you had that Mythical Man Month book. It's a book that you
How do
talked
we done the evaluation?
2 to 3 minutes. Standard. The whole topic resonates with me because I work in environments where I'm subject to project management. I've done so at CSIR, the same applies now, and there's positive experiences and negative experiences. So it resonates with me. And there's a bit of humor in the Mythical Man Month. So the things you excelled at was to apply when you were confronted with this difficult audience and intentionally making life difficult for you, you applied some level of assertiveness to constrain the interruptions. Now, I suspect it is because you have some experience with this kind of thing. I don't think I did nearly as well a few weeks ago when I did or attempted the same project as a speech. I found it much more difficult, but you seem to handle it quite well with a bit of assertiveness. And then one of the things I noticed is that you challenged the interrupter with questions, particularly Anshin here. So each time she came up with an argument, you challenged her to answer it, and that only actually got her deeper into trouble, I think. Which is not necessarily good always, but it worked with her. And then what I also thought was done well is incorporating somebody in the audience, and I was actually a bit distracted at that stage, but about using duct tape of a different color. And you started latching on to that thought, and I think that is well done. Things I think you might want to work on is to find a way to reiterate the 5 success factors, because I kind of felt it was mentioned too fast, or during the interruptions I lose track of what it was or the whole train of thought. One way of maybe mitigating that is to actually have a poster or a flip chart or something with the main points on, if that's even just all that you put in there, so that people can still remain seeing it and kind of keep the focus despite the interruptions. Or else you have to find a way to additionally just pull people back to the main 5 main success factors. Each time they got distracted because the arguments and so on did take a bit away from that train of thought. So that is it. So I think you actually handled it quite well, and there are things that you can improve on, but it's already things done well. So I think with the time being out, I'm going to stop there. Thank you, Pieter, for the speech well done.